I bought this $1 million house using none of my own money because I understood the law of vibration and the law of reciprocity. Let me tell you how they work. This house right here that I'm living in is a property out in Gilbert, Arizona. It cost us over $1 million, and it was essentially brought to me. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this, like it was actually brought to me. The money for the house came to me. Everything that needed to happen came to me because I learned about the law of reciprocity and the law of vibration all these years ago. So, what is the law of reciprocity and what is the law of vibration, and how can you use it to grow your business or to start manifesting things in your life? Well, first off, let's start off with the law of vibration. You guys might have seen a video I did on this earlier. If you didn't watch that video, pay attention right now. The law of vibration is ultimately the fundamental law that's beneath the law of attraction. So when you hear people talk about the law of attraction, what that really is a secondary law. It's the effect, right? The law of vibration is the cause, the law of attraction is the effect. It's the result of following the law of vibration. So what does the law of vibration say? The law of vibration says everything in the known universe, from this desk to the chair I'm sitting in, the microphone, the computer, or the cell phone you're watching this video on, everything in the universe is made up of energy, and it's made up of energy vibrating at a particular speed. And depending on the speed of that vibration, we call it a frequency. Depending on whatever that frequency is the thing that you see in your hand or the thing you see in this world. So when I see this desk is nothing more than just energy vibrating at a certain frequency, and I call it a desk. This microphone is another group of energy vibrating at a different frequency, and I call it a microphone. And I want to know this because the law of vibration says anything that you want is ultimately just a frequency. And if you want to get it, you simply just have to get on the same frequency. And a great example of this is, imagine you took out your cell phone for a minute and you held it in your hand. And let's say you wanted to call me. Well, guess what? I also have a cell phone, but the only way you get me on the phone is if you type in my number correctly. So you've got to be able to dial my area code and my 7 digits correctly. And if you do so, guess what happens? Your phone starts to ring, my phone starts to ring, and when I answer, you and I are connected. We're on the same frequency. Now, you could type in as many numbers as you want. If you're typing in the wrong numbers, you will never get me on the phone. You can call a million different numbers. You can put in a lot of effort. You could put in energy, you could put in time, you could put in focus, but if you're dialing the wrong frequency, you're not going to get me on the phone. You might get other people on the phone. You might get your mom, your uncle, your friend, your college roommate, the Domino's pizza delivery guy. You'll get a lot of other people on the phone, but you won't get me until you dial in onto my frequency. And so the law of attraction says when you're trying to dial in to the frequency of earning more money, of having the dream relationship, of becoming the father, of earning a Grammy, of getting in the best shape of your life, all of those things essentially live on their own frequency. They have their own telephone number. And your job is to tune yourself in to that frequency. And the way you do that is using these 6 inches in between your head. You use your mind. You start to think and you start to see yourself on that frequency. You start to get on that frequency before anyone else can see you see it. You start to feel it. That's the law of vibration. And the reason this matters is because when I wanted to get this house, I was in a place where just about 2 years ago, I had moved out to Arizona. I was living with one of my best friends, Luciano. And Luciano had this big house. It was a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It was just me and him living inside there. Luciano, one of the best roommates I could ever ask for. I loved living with him. He started dating a girl, Devin, and Devin's amazing. I absolutely love Devin to bits. And as they got together, they're both travelers, they're explorers. They like to go and see the world. They came home one night and they sat me down at the kitchen table and they said, "Hey, we got some news for you." And I'm thinking like, "Oh my gosh, they're pregnant." He's like, "No, we're not pregnant. We're moving." And I said, "Oh, well, where are we moving to?" I do this thing when I like got people in my life, we become like family. I'm like, "Great, where are we going?" And they're like, actually, Marlon, we're moving." I'm like, "Oh." I said, "Okay, well, that's awesome. Where you guys going to?" They're like, "Lake Tahoe." And they tell me that what they're going to do with the house, it's Luciano's property. He's going to turn it into an Airbnb because they own Airbnbs. They rent out properties. And they said, "We're turning this house into an Airbnb." In other words, Marlon, we love you. You got to go find a new place to rent. You got to go find a new place to live. And I said, great, how long do I have? This is about November. They said, we're moving at the beginning of January. I said, whoa, that's quick, but not a worry. I don't stress out about things. You guys are going to see this because I understand the law of vibration. I understand how the law of attraction actually works. I understand the law of reciprocity. I don't stress. Instead, I say, okay, great. You know what? I don't want to go and rent another place. This was fun. Absolutely loved renting with Luciano, but I think it's time for me to go buy my own house. And so I pull out a sheet of paper just like this. I go and I get my notepad and I start thinking about the sort of house that I want. No kid. I literally sit down in the backyard that next morning, and it was a Saturday morning. I sit down and I just start writing by the fire pit. I describe the house. I describe high ceilings. I describe big windows, natural light coming in. I describe that I want to have a pool because we live in Arizona, and I learned you got to have a pool for when the summertime rolls around. So I start describing this. I describe how the house will feel. I want it to feel homely. I want it to feel nice, and everyone wants to come here. They want to hang out. Like, this is the place where people want to be, where I want to be, that the house is a home. And as I start describing this house and I start putting this energy out there, I start getting on this frequency. I relax and I trust that the universe is catching my order. I trust that God is listening to me and he's saying, okay, cool. I see what you're asking for. And you know what it says in scripture, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. And so I start asking for the things I want. And I'm not asking in a way where I'm doubting it's going to happen. I just have this knowingness, this trust, this faith that it will happen. And so I get on the frequency of this and I begin to let people know this is what I'm looking for. I start to let my network know, hey guys, I'm looking for a house. Like I want something big. I want something with a lot of rooms. I want to be able to have other roommates. I don't want to live by myself yet. I'm not at that place. I want to have friends around me. I want to have it be a mastermind every morning when I wake up. I want to be able to see people. And when I come home, I'm not stressed out about who's in the house. I love seeing every face in my house. And I that out to my friends. And they start sending me properties. People start sending me houses. And I'm just like, no, that one's too small. That one's not nice enough. And I also tell them, hey guys, by the way, I'm self-employed. So make matters even better for you guys. Like for my traditional people out there, I don't qualify to go and get a mortgage, right? Like I'm self-employed. I make my own money. My taxes say I don't earn a lot. So I can't go out and just go to Wells Fargo or Bank of America and get a traditional mortgage or traditional loan. And I'm not buying the house cash. So I also tell them, hey guys, on top of that, I need this house to come with like creative financing. I need the seller to either, let me pay them over time, or I need somebody to let me take their mortgage over. So I'm just adding stipulations on it. And again, I'm not stressed out by any means about this. I just know the house is going to come to me. And as I relax into this, I get a phone call one day. And the phone call is from a great friend of mine, Ingrid Hernandez, picks up the phone, reaches out to me, calls me and says, hey, Marlon, I found your house. No joke. She's talking about this house. She says, I'm in it right now. I'm going to FaceTime you. She FaceTimes me and she's walking me around the house. And I'm like, holy crap, Ingrid, this house is perfect. Like, it's huge. It's in the neighborhood I want to be in. Like, it's in Gilbert. I love Gilbert. I already know this neighborhood. It's 4,700 square feet. So it's got more space than I'll ever need. It's got 6 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. It's got a personal gym. It's got a pool, a hot tub. It's got a movie theater area. It has 4-car garage. Like, it has all the things. And it's in a quiet neighborhood because I'm an old man. I like to keep it chill. I like to keep it quiet. And so law of vibration is the reason the house came to me, because I was on that frequency. But let's add something else into it. It was the law of reciprocity. So the law of reciprocity, what is that? Law of reciprocity basically states that the things I want in life, I first need to give. If I want to earn money, I've got to give money first. If I want to earn respect, I've got to give respect first. If I want to earn love, I got to give love first. And so the reason Ingrid picked up the phone and gave me a call, because I'm going to explain how now when we talk about how I got into this house without any of my own money, it's because Ingrid, when she picked up the phone and called me about this house, she said, hey, this is the property, this is the deal, this is the situation. The homeowners, they would love to sell it to us, but there's an issue. The property is currently, there's some liens on the property. We got to catch those up. We got to cover those, and then we could get into the property. So ultimately, in order to get into this deal, it's going to cost us about 100 grand to get into the deal, just to get into the property. And I'm like, okay, no worries. Like, let's figure this out. Ingrid's one of those amazing people in my life that has come as a result of me going out and networking. And when I find someone who's just genuine and authentic, I like to just pour into those people. So Ingrid was one of those people that a few years ago when I met her, I didn't ask her for anything. I just wanted to be her friend. I just wanted to give, and like I wanted to show up authentically. And so she's always someone that when she picks up the phone and texts me, like I'll answer her, I'll call her, I'll check in to see how she's doing. I love hanging out with her and her kids and her husband. And I just liked giving to that relationship. So for these past few years, I've been giving value to that relationship in the form of being a listening ear, in the form of coaching her through different mental situations she was dealing with, helping her as she made her transition from a full-time W-2 to now a full-time entrepreneur who's absolutely crushing it here in the Arizona market. And because I kept pouring value and value and value into her, what started to happen, the law of reciprocity says what you give is what you get. As I gave more value, Ingrid ends up coming back to me with value. So not only did she find the house, she also says, hey, listen, I've got a friend who would lend on this, and that friend will come in as a lender. So now I'm getting the house, and I've got no money in the deal because her friend is bringing all the money. So Ingrid essentially brings all the pieces of the pie together and presents it to me. The law of vibration and the law of reciprocity is why this happened. It's because I was obeying both laws. I was focusing on giving value. See, a lot of times people are like, I want money, but I don't have the money to give. Remember this, money is a made up concept. Money is an energy. Money is symbolic of what? It's symbolic of value. You exchange money for value. It's if I'm driving down the road, right? Like this is how I could prove to you that money is just an exchange of value. If you got $100 in your pocket, you're driving down the road, your car runs out of gas, and you got to pull over to the gas station. I guarantee you, even if you don't want to spend the money, you will take the money out of your pocket and you will buy the gas because the gas is more valuable to you than the money in your pocket because the gas allows you to keep going where it is you want to go. And so recognize this, money is simply an exchange of value. It's a store of value. Our currency is symbolic of value. So when we talk about the law of reciprocity and we talk about, well, how do I give money if I want to get it? Stop looking at money as money and start looking at money as value. How do you give value? How do you show up authentically to the world? How do you provide service to other people? How do you do such a good job at making someone else's life easier and better that in return, they feel that they have to give something back to you. They want to give something back to you. So because I was following the law of reciprocity, amazingly, Ingrid says like, hey, look, let's buy this property together. I brought the deal. I'll negotiate the deal. I'll bring the money to the deal. And I now, as a result, get to live inside this house. We rent out the house to roommates that I got to choose. So I got to pick the people who live inside the house as well. And I get to host amazing masterminds out of the house. In fact, this podcast studio that I'm recording this from is inside this house. Like this YouTube channel behind me is growing inside this podcast studio, inside this house, because I followed the law of vibration and the law of reciprocity. And so if you want to learn more about this stuff, I'm telling you right now, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be going into more depth and detail. My YouTube channel, the goal with this channel behind me is I want to do what other people haven't done, which is I want to be able to provide this sort of information and coach at a high level for free on my YouTube channel. Like I want to be the guy that if you can't afford to work with me as a coaching client, like, cause I work with people, I work one-on-one with people, I work in small groups with people, and I have coached large group. I've coached thousands of people. Like I go inside other people's mentorship and I am the mindset coach inside of other people's mentorship programs. And I like being able to do that stuff. However, for the people who can't afford to get into those rooms yet, who can't afford to be a part of those networks yet, I don't want them being left behind because I was that person at one point who couldn't afford to get in. And so I had to go and find ways to get information. This is your place to get information. When you want to learn about you, when you want to learn about your mindset, when you want to get better as a performer, as a producer, as a person overall, I want you to be able to come to this channel, and every video you're getting is going to be jam-packed with value, and it's going to be jam-packed with authentic energy. So I share this story here today not to impress you, but to impress upon you that you want to follow the law of vibration, which means start thinking and getting on the frequency of the thing you desire, and start to follow the law of reciprocity, which means you got to give what you desire, give what you want to get. If you want love, give love. If you want respect, give respect. If you want value, give value. Guys, if you got value at all from today's episode, do me a favor, go ahead and smash the like button. I know you hear that in everybody's video, and you hear it for a good reason. It truly helps with the algorithm. The YouTube channel has been growing. And by the way, thank you to you guys, because when I look at these videos, what's cool to me is I'll see a video and it has like 82 views, and some people will be like, oh, that's it? I'm like, 82 people have watched this video. Imagine sitting in a room right now with 82 people. I'm like, that's mind-blowing. I have another video where it's 159 of you guys have watched, and I'm like, 159 people, like literally the room has doubled. And this is happening because you guys are sharing. You guys are liking the content. You guys are commenting. You guys are sharing your thoughts in the comment section. You're sharing the videos on YouTube. You guys are texting it out to each other. And for that, I seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. It means the world to me, especially if you're this far into the video and you're listening all the way to the end. Like, you're helping the watch hours. You're helping the algorithm say, great, these people are engaged with this. So thank you very much. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Be sure to smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out a lot of content this year. There's going to be a lot of content coming. We've got new podcast episodes coming up very shortly here. We've got content like this coming in rather daily. I can't promise it's going to be every single day, but as long as I'm home in this podcast studio, we're going to be dropping content that is fire. And I am listening and reading the comments. So if you have a thought, if there's something you want to see, if there's something you think I missed, or something just resonated with you, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment. Let's continue the conversation. Guys, be on the lookout in the next couple of weeks. I'm also going to be opening up a school channel that will allow the community to come in, and we'll really be able to get engaged that way. But for now, you guys enjoy the rest of the day.